Hello, this is John Miller, the creator of The Rest of Everest. I think I can safely say that this show is, without a doubt, the most in-depth look into the entire experience of what it takes to climb Everest, as well as some other peaks throughout the Himalayas. But all of the events in this series are shown in chronological order, so if you're new to the show, please go all the way back to episode 000 and watch everything in order. That's truly the best way to enjoy it. Thanks.
Hi everyone. Before this week's episode, I wanted to take a minute to congratulate Steve Beatty and his wife Michelle on the birth of their daughter Natalie a few weeks ago. Steve was part of the 2009 trekking team, and you may remember the Beatty bird. Also, Steve has started a new podcast covering his experiences becoming a dad. The show is called the Being Dad Podcast, and I was lucky enough to be a guest on the show. You can hear Steve and I talking about our dadness, the experience of having both of my kids born via C-section, and also, big surprise here, poop. I feel a bit podcastic these days. Anyway, you can catch the show in iTunes or at beingdadpodcast.com.
This is the Rest of Everest video podcast, an almost unabridged expedition experience. Episode 167, Poolside on the Plateau.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the Rest of Everest. I'm John Miller. We are going to see a very, very cool campsite in this episode that I teased about last episode. I thought it was one of the most beautiful campsites I've ever visited. And a bunch of people who were there with me back in 2010 are on the line with me this week. We have Jill, Roger, Jeffrey, Shaquille, Tilo, and Chris and Monica. How are all of you doing?
Good.
Hey, John.
Hey.
Great. Hey, John.
I don't mention this enough.
Hey.
I thought I'd take the opportunity to just once again, Chris Marquardt has a very, very good English language photography podcast called Tips from the Top Floor. I know a lot of you are fans of his show, but for those of you who don't know about it, he's the reason why we do these workshops up in the Himalayas, and I thought I'd just plug it because I haven't done it in ages.
Do I owe you a plug now too?
Sure,
Thank
but
you.
no. But it just always forget to mention it, so I thought I'd cross that off my list for this week. But in any case, let's go back up to Tibet and let's get hiking towards this beautiful campground. So here we go. Okay, Jeffrey, so what have you got going on behind you there?
Well, we've got a lot going on. It's our third day. We're at 3270
Third day of trekking.
of trekking.
Fourth
correct.
day of the trek.
Correct. And the cool thing is we came up from that river way down there at about 41. We camped last night. 41.15, I believe, altitude in meters. And we've come all the way up through switchbacks, all through the greenery, across this peak. And we've come around and now we're facing, we're pretty sure is the backside of Everest. And when we first came up at lunchtime, it's now a little after 2, but when we first came up around 1 o'clock, it was actually clear. We could see the top. But atypical of what goes on here in Tibet is that things start to cloud in and it gets chillier, and you sort of look forward to tomorrow when it'll all open up. Or, as it has been, we got very fortunate. We've had a full moon. And last night at about 3 in the morning, my partner and I, Dave, got up, and it was just absolutely gorgeous in the valley we were in, looking at the mountains and the way the moon was hitting the side of the mountain. So it was pretty spectacular. It was one of those $1 million views. So we're just heading along this ridge, and we're told by our Sherpas, which sometimes they don't want to make us think that we're not making any progress, but over this ridge, then we're headed down, and that's basically where we're headed.
Well, you actually see the yaks in the background there.
Yeah, you can see the yaks off in the distance. And there's actually, you can see probably the lead of our trekking group on the trail in the far ridge. So once we get over that ridge, I think they're headed down.
Or that's staff.
Or staff.
Hard to tell.
Hard to tell. Bottom line is, we got some work to do yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice place. It was nice.
Oh, the yak train.
It was nice to come up over that hill, that climb, and then have this nice traverse that we did. We didn't have to descend again, so it was nice. You got a really good view.
Yes.
For a change, yes.
Yeah. So this is obviously the same day. This is just later in the day than last week's episode.
Yeah, this was definitely a gorgeous day of trekking.
I think from this point on, they were all really gorgeous. The weather cooperated a lot more.
I think I enjoyed
general.
sitting there watching them pass by.
Mm-hmm. You did.
We did have some good snowstorms, though, a couple of days late in the afternoon.
Well, the campsite was probably one of the coldest campsites of the trek, I think.
No, this one was not the coldest. There was 2 days later. There was one where we arrived in snow. Yeah.
Yeah, when we did the snow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That looks like Tilo there. So this is probably Pemba shooting, I think.
Hey,
Yep.
it's Pemba.
Yeah.
The camera Sherpa.
He's still in France, I think.
Is he right now?
He was at least working in the France Alps.
Oh, really? Right now, he's probably back in Nepal because it's the spring trekking season.
Yeah, I got an email from him 2 weeks ago. He's back in Nepal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know we have a lot of footage of yaks in these episodes, and some people might be like, "Why? Okay, more yak footage," but the yaks are so vitally important to the trek and to the region in general, and we love the yaks. We love having them with us.
The yak bells.
The yak bells, yeah, they really take you back. Just the sound of the yak bells. But the yaks,
I love yak bells.
The yaks are part of the team, and so they're really important. We could not do this.
Very important.
They are
Yeah.
coming and having lunch. Hello.
Hello.
See, we talked about the new reality series, The Yak Man.
Yep.
Danny's having a Coke.
John, I need to create a company that has, branding so strong that they have branding in the Himalayas.
Yeah.
And that looks like a Sprite, another Coke product.
Yeah.
I wish I could understand what they're talking about.
Don't forget, they even put their moonshine in the Coke bottles.
Yeah. Yeah. It's most
I was just going to say that, Roger. We don't know what's in that spray can.
basically paint thinner.
That's why they have to use metal.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you see those guys with water bottles or soda bottles, it's most likely their moonshine. That's an awesome shot. Love that shot.
I like how they have the yaks just going off somewhere and then later they call them back.
And they actually come back.
Hey, look. Relax, go in now. Relax, relax. Purba is sleeping.
Purba was sleeping. Is that Purba?
Purba, yeah. Soup's not ready.
Super ready.
No, soup's not ready.
But I love that little
Oh,
rest
that's-
break because it shows just how really relaxed these treks can be. This is definitely a fun day.
It was so gorgeous that day.
And you notice we're not all bundled up. It was warm.
Yeah.
Don't let the yak men throw you off because it's freezing out there sometimes and they're just wearing like a t-shirt.
Yeah.
True.
But it
And
wasn't
Crocs
windy.
without socks. Yeah.
But it wasn't windy, and that makes all the difference.
Yeah.
And no matter what they're carrying, they look like they're carrying nothing.
It was great to finally be above the valleys, because we have been kind of hiking
Yes.
in the bottom, and now we're up high, and so the views are just so different from this vantage point. And walking along this long valley was just really beautiful. The mountains on the other side were just so rugged looking. Just really, really cool. And yes, there is a trail. There is a trail to the Kangshung face.
And it's probably
Sometimes.
probably the only trail that goes up there.
But most likely it's from all the yak herders in their
Yeah.
area. Not from tourist traffic, but from actual nomadic yak herders, which we do run across in this episode, by the way.
But no tourists. Yeah.
You can see it's getting on towards afternoon because the sky isn't blue anymore.
It's pretty light, though.
I remember I could hear an avalanche over there somewhere. I mean, this looks so small, but it's so huge. And I could hear that avalanche over there somewhere. And I was trying to find it with my eyes. And it turned out to be a very small thing, visually, very, very tiny, hard to spot. But the sound it made just told me that it was really, really big. So it kind of made it clear to me how huge these mountains are.
I gotta admit that our campsite that we just came across, behind the camera over here, which you can't see right now, but we know is there, is actually Chomolungma, Mount Everest. We'll see it later on tomorrow, probably tomorrow morning, first thing, once we get up over a bit of a hillside here. But we came down this hillside, and there's this absolutely phenomenal campsite down here and a lake. So here, I'm going to show you. So there's the trail that we're going to have to go up tomorrow. But right when we get to the top of that apex of that hill there, of that trail, we'll see Chomolungma in all her glory. And she's something uniquely special. And then if we pan down here, and you can see our campsite. There in the distance you can see the green tents, and you can see the cooking tent. And then just over here, there's a lake right there. There's Jill. I think Jill just had a pee. And then we go up here, and there's these beautiful peaks surrounding us. And it's just gorgeous. As you know, there'll be blue sky tomorrow morning. There's a nice green glacial lake and our camp. So it's uniquely something special.
So we came down and we dropped off all our gear, and then a group of us went off on a little exploration hike around the lake.
And then it was cold. It got really cold once we got there.
Now you'll see yaks here, but these are not our yaks. These are actually yaks that belong to a nomadic herder that happened to be camping at this same spot with us. So we shared this beautiful camp spot with a truly nomadic. I didn't actually go into his tent. Was it just one man, or was it a whole family?
It was just one man.
Yeah.
Roger, I think, were in his tent, was talking to him.
And Jeffrey, I think you hung out with him for a little bit.
I sat in there for a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I missed what it's Jeff, not Roger.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. He was pretty neat in there.
Did you take any pictures in there, Jeff or Roger?
He allowed me to take one of himself and his little altar. He had an altar in there. Lots of skins. It was very comfortable. There was a fire in the center, and he was boiling the yak milk and making butter. He had butter already sort of to the side that he'd already made. And he had this huge cauldron that he was cooking under this little fire. I think he told me he had 6 kids.
We'll see his tent in just a little bit.
Yeah, for the kids. For the women.
But this was a little shelter that we saw up there.
Looks like a piece of cloth.
It's a great one.
Definitely commanding view of the yak herd from here. Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. It's very windy in here.
It could be a summer house with a beautiful view.
Yeah.
Actually, it's totally windy.
Back there and
back here.
And back here, there's enough of a windbreak. So it's not full wind. Well, it's enough to exit the smoke from the shelter.
Yeah, it's a good place.
You gonna camp here tonight?
No. It's a good camping place. Yeah,
It's flatter than our camp spots.
Oh, there's even a secret little additional cave. The cave in the cave. That's the vault.
It's amazing how far those yak bells carry. They're ever present in this episode, I think. Did you guys end up walking all the way around the lake?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
I know I turned back after a bit. How long did it end up taking you?
Oh, I don't remember.
It was until dinner time, basically.
Yeah. It's not that you looked at your watch all the time up there.
But yeah, you can actually...
It was a leisurely pace, and we stopped to skip stones and things like that.
Oh, that's the clouds coming in.
Yep, the afternoon clouds coming in.
Over the ridges.
So this was a much more typical day of trekking. It wasn't the huge marathon that we had done before the rest day. Things were always much more manageable than that. So you still had the energy after arriving into camp to explore a little bit. And against my better judgment, I put this into the podcast.
This will come back to you one day.
Woo! What did you do there?
I think that was like 2.5.
2.5?
Yay.
Oh, hold on a second. Let me. Oh man. Is this all from you, John?
Just a second. Trying to compose myself here. Hold on.
Are you okay?
Remember,
Pal, are you
the
okay?
Marquardt scale is extensible in both directions. So I think I'm going to be okay.
Clearly a hypoxia there.
What's behind you though?
Oh,
because it started earlier.
Careful. Careful.
Surrounded with yak dung.
Man.
Oh, freedom. Oh, okay. I'm gonna go have some chow mein.
This is gonna be used against you, you know that.
I'm an open book. Everyone knows that. But
And on the serious let's side, just hope it doesn't go viral.
Yeah. On the serious side, Jeffrey?
I was going to say that's why we wash our hands before we go in the dining tent.
Yeah. Because John's pooped all over the campsite.
In Spain, that's where a lot of Nutella comes from. They've got, I exaggerate, it's at least 10, maybe more, different types of Nutella.
Mm-hmm.
I love that yaks just standing right in the middle of camp looking around.
Has no idea what's going on, but yeah.
All right, so that was dinner that night. And this is early morning.
That's when we are all still asleep.
Yeah, I got up early to film this morning.
So that's Sherpas with their headlamps preparing toast for us. They scrape the black bits off.
So that's how they sharpen their knives, on our toast.
Because however early we feel like we get up, these guys have been up for hours getting breakfast ready.
And that's why they have to take a nap at noon.
Yeah.
And they're usually the last ones to sleep as well.
Mm-hmm. So much of what these guys do is just goes on transparently in the background because they are so good at their jobs. But I always feel it's important to recognize their efforts and you know we would not have anywhere near the same type of trip if it weren't for these guys taking care of us.
Yeah, Nepali crew members on an expedition are deep Indian guys, and on their expeditions by a mile. I did an Indian trek recently, and it just didn't come anywhere near the quality of these guys. Just night and day difference. They're amazing. What these guys do is just unbelievable.
Look there.
Did you notice the pile of cooking utensils that they have to bring with them? It's just amazing the amount of stuff that they
and they keep them clean under these circumstances in whatever weather, and they don't just cook meals for us; they have to cook for themselves too. Because they cook separately for themselves, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mostly dal bhat.
Yeah. Because they can't eat our stuff.
Well, they can, but they don't like it.
Yeah, probably they get diarrhea.
Well, you guys may already know this, but I used to sneak into their tent and have dinner with them because it was it was good stuff.
It's good stuff.
Well, I'm used to growing up eating Indian food, so eating dal, and sometimes they would have potatoes and vegetables and rice and curry. So I'd go in, sneak a little bit. They'd force it on me, basically.
So cleaning the super bucket.
And you need to keep in mind that all the water that's being used for cleaning has been boiled already.
Yeah.
So I mean, all that water had to be boiled. I mean, it's just that's why they get up so early. They get up early to start boiling water.
Well, they also make multiple trips down to the lake or to the river or creek and carry back these gallons of water. It's just amazing.
Super bucket.
When we were in the Annapurna area, we stopped and ate with our guides a couple of times, and actually it was just me and my guide, and their food was so much better than ours. I started wanting what they had. I'd say whatever he's having, that's what I want, because they definitely order the best things.
All right, so this is these are some of the new yaks, but that's the tent that belonged to the yak herder there. So you said inside, Jeffrey was inside was he was making butter.
Yeah, he was boiling down the yak milk, and then he was forming butter, and then he would form it with his hands into a sort of a block, and then he'd wrap it in a a cloth. So that's kind of what he was doing. And I asked him how well Perber was doing all the interpreting, of course, and he said it would take him a day to boil down, but it was a huge pot. It really was immense, and the fire was so small. But it was kind of cool. It was all the skins, gorgeous skins. Probably had, and it was quite warm. I was surprised. You could still have light through this woven, I guess it's yak fur that they, or yak fur that they weave. It was quite greasy, quite oily, the roof and everything. And then, it was very warm. It was amazingly warm. Yeah. And then he had
warmer
a little
than in our tent here.
Yes. Yeah, and then he had a little altar with a Buddha and incense burning.
Well, he had a fire inside, but there's no chimney, so to speak of, right? It just the smoke just comes out through the cloth, right?
There was a hole in the center.
I remember him poking his head out of it once.
Yeah, there was a hole in the center, but there wasn't a lot of smoke but there was a hole in the center. He offered me a drink, and Purba, of course, told me, don't even think about it. So, but Purba said I had to sort of take it to my lips because it would be rude.
Right.
Scrambled egg?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, the memories of scrambled egg.
And the nutrition in the cacao. 25
valuable nutrients. What was that again?
Something.
Science. Scientific nutrients. That's what it was.
Now that the sun's fully up, you can really see how beautiful this place was.
Yourself about is the composition. But even there are cameras now that point to that will show you.
And the yaks are just waiting around.
the outline of a portrait.
You can see the smoke coming out of the yakman's tent there.
True.
And then press the cover. Or sunset, a line and a circle with horizon and the sun. I'm not kidding you.
What kind of drink did he offer you, Jeffrey?
I think it was the
butter tea?
the drink that. It was the tea mixed with whatever alcoholic beverage they make that the yak herders were drinking as well.
And Purba was saying don't drink it because it would probably give you probably some kind of parasite or something.
No, I think it was more about John. Didn't one of our Sherpas brothers pass away from drinking this sort of homemade hooch that they make?
Well, that was they had gotten some alcohol that wasn't for human consumption,
and that's why I think Purba was telling me not to drink, because you have no way of knowing where this stuff comes from.
Okay.
Wow.
I thought it was because we hadn't crossed the beer line yet.
That's Purba in the cap. Tendi. Shaquille, can you understand what they're saying?
Yeah, a little bit.
What were they
They're
saying?
making fun of us, right?
Oh no, they're just relaxing and talking about they've finished most of the work and more to come.
Yeah. Well, more to come is right, because now we're really getting into it. We're really getting into the backcountry here, and on next week's episode, we see there's like some mountain over here that is pretty big. So we finally actually get to see the Kangshung face for the first time. And you can see we still have quite a ways to go before we get there. But, well, hey, guys, thanks so much. Always always enjoy recording these episodes with you. And, yeah, we'll carry on next week. So I guess all I can say is we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, John.
Bye.
Bye, John.
The Rest of Everest is downloaded all over the world every day, and watching the show has become a part of many people's weekly routine. The show will always be free to download, but it's by no means free to produce. Please help me cover my costs by making a small monthly or one-time donation from the right sidebar on my website, and in return I'll give you some cool bonus materials. A donation of any amount will grant you access to some interesting video content, including high-definition versions of several podcast episodes, a one-time donation of $25 or more, or any of the monthly donation options will additionally grant you access to a downloadable version of the film Everest the Other Side, which episodes 1 to 61 are based on. I really cannot express how vital these donations are, and if you've made a donation, thank you so much. As always, our announcer is Marlon May, and our music is provided by Wendy Wu. Check her out at wendywoo.com. Thanks so much, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching The Rest of Everest. For more information on the expedition, please visit therestofeverest.com.